Good evening. I think we're all live. I think we're go. Doing well. Loading here. Hot dogs first in the house. See you. Still going. Okay. Hear me okay? We are loading up. We are loading up.
Hey everyone.
Technical issue. Should be working.
Hello, everyone.
You've listed what? Chat with you. Evening service guy. Doing well.
I've been cleaning up after my cat all day, but I'm good. No, it's just I don't know what it is, but so he's got like 50,000 million toys all over the house, but for whatever reason he keeps liking to break into the bathroom and play with our hair ties, which means he knocks everything over.
Oh, that's it. Issues? How you doing, Curtis? You alright?
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Okay.
And at that news.
All good. I think everything's working live. So yeah, welcome to the live stream. If, first time here, Asphet. Sorry about that. And we also have a weekly live. This one. So yeah, I hope you're all having a great weekend. You hit that like button, right button if you aren't ready. Just a little name on screen here. You can. All right, so we get just the three of us.
Well, I think Alsar said he was playing, but then he also said he was in Elden Ring and he might forget, so I don't know.
We played Elden Ring.
I never heard of it till today.
My better half's been playing it for about 12 hours between last night and this morning. It seems pretty Dark Soulsy, just a little more colorful and not as bleak.
I don't have the patience for it.
And well, neither does she. She doesn't really either, but she just loves the lore, which I mean, I guess is fair.
Been playing that new Grid Legends, and I decided not to play.
Well, weren't you saying it was making you motion sick?
Yeah, it's making me dizzy. All that brightness and lights and. He gave you a warning on that before you play the game.
I mean, yeah, you do have to. I mean, pretty much every game does have those warnings, but I mean, you probably should take a second and have a look at them, even if 98% of the time that doesn't apply to you.
I did on my big PC. It gave me a little dizzy. And on my laptop, it didn't do that too bad. In my, I think we'll stay away.
I mean, to be fair, I guess we all do that. I mean, when was the last time anyone here has ever actually read like a terms of service before they clicked accept?
Hey, hot dog. Recommend playing Destiny 2. I've heard that there's a new Destiny expansion pack out.
Yeah, the Witch Queen.
Good. There's hot dogs.
I haven't had a chance to play it, but I have a couple friends who have basically not turned it off since it dropped.
Coming.
You haven't invited me yet. Or if you did, I didn't see it.
Hot dog's playing it. Green.
Speaking of new expansions and things, has anyone else really had a chance, now that it's been a week or so, to goof around in the Old Republic?
I'm working my way towards it. Chapter 2 of my story. Yeah, while from. So I have been playing a bit more of it than. Tried it.
I've been playing around with a lot of the new settings and stuff, but I haven't actually gotten to the story itself yet.
Alright, so the. Still got those. Plus the other.
Strategically sensitive location identified. We have multiple hostiles in this zone. Get in
Yeah,
there.
well, Revan's just a heretic, so you can skip him.
No, I can't. I'm doing a full playthrough. The end of his.
Troopers!
When you get to Droman Kaas, do you rat out the Revanite cult, or do you keep their secret?
Playing as a light sign.
Squad member has flatlined.
Oh, well, there's your first problem.
Yeah, well, you see, I tried. I last time played as this warrior, and nice. Is that the first?
I think that's the second one.
First one? It just didn't seem to make sense with the. It seems to be kind of set up. Right side.
Did try it out Dragon Age.
Did you like it?
It's not bad. I figure out how to get him to move around.
Squad member in trouble.
The
Yeah, it's
which one is it, Curtis?
Origin.
Started with the best one.
Yeah, it's quite a bit different from Skyrim, if that's what you're coming off of.
I'm trying to figure out where the controls are to get him to move around.
Well done, team. Enemy is still active. Stay alert.
So anyway, Tim, the only Republic character that it's cool to play as is a female trooper, just because she's voiced by FemShep.
I didn't know that.
All the other Republic characters are big, fat, stupid heads.
I do have a question. Seem to have like a mine thing. Doesn't go. Actually, I have to like.
Yeah, your recon mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll notice when you plant it, your Omni tool starts turning on, and you should be able to see like a little, very small viewing screen on it, so you'll be able to know if something's near it, and then so you can set it off remotely. But that, I believe, is the most damage of any ability in the game.
Omni. I have no idea if anybody.
That's odd, but yeah, that's what that is. It doesn't blow up until you tell it to.
Hey, Nico. I think Hot Dog's telling us about the Destiny 2 expansion. I have absolutely no idea.
All clear. Good work.
That's it!
Stay alert. Enemy is regrouping. We have some important enemy personnel in the area. Find those targets, pick them
I
out.
need more time. There's just not enough time in the daytime. I managed to finish The Witcher 2.
New strategic target on
Played that. And I've started The Witcher 3. Well, that's looking over.
Have the targets confirmed.
I want to do
Strategic target on the field.
Star Wars. A bit get some new stuff. I want to do a Dragon Age stuff. I'll make Dragon Age.
Last target is spotted. Take him down.
Got a few Dragon Age ideas already.
Targets are cleared. Excellent work.
Well, what do you need footage of? I'm in the middle of my run.
It'll be things like secrets and eggs and stuff. I don't really know off the top of my head, but in case of I need to get save spots, kind of locations that find one. You're on, I can just pop to that save spot. But in order to do that, I need to get those. Okay. What are you doing? Yeah, you need that. Okay.
I'm reading only one more left. That's all of them. Good work. Enemy is regrouping. Time to reload.
Well, if you want footage of someone siding with the werewolves, I'm probably going to be doing that tonight at some point.
Probably, probably.
Do you ever full on side with them though, or do you just be like, yeah, you're an idiot and you should make peace with what you did, kind of thing, and
Yeah,
like
no, yeah, I
cure the
get it.
werewolves, but then he kills himself or he dies or whatever it is?
save the day, Tim.
Most of the regular elves are decent enough, but their leaders are genuinely unlikable.
Destiny 2 to be on Steam.
I've been telling you that every week for like the past 2 months.
Well, yeah, no, just in case you didn't know.
I'm reading only one more left. Some fine work, team.
Hot dog, that is very kind of you to
Enemy is
offer.
still active. Stay alert.
I'm to play what I want to play at the minute. No way I'm starting anything else at the
Understood.
But I appreciate it though. When I do get round to it,
Squad member
but it's a bit
offline.
like Mass Effect.
Team member has gone dark.
Ah.
Team member offline.
Ah. Been playing
Clean sweep. Well done. Enemy down to half strength.
Star Trek Bridge Crew.
Oh yeah, how'd you get on with that, Curtis?
Solarian STG planted
Pretty
intel
good.
here. Upload the intel from local server.
Tried it in VR, but I couldn't get.
Is Bridge Crew the MMO or is that Star Trek Online?
Star Trek. Bridge Crew is. You literally sit in the captain's chair of. I think it's the original.
Done.
You get like extra packs to be Next Generation.
Yeah, Next Generation and
Maintain afloat.
Digital Enterprise, the JJ version.
My favorite captain was still Cisco.
Yeah, had more ships and
Upload complete.
Well, there's a question there, Hot Dog. If Destiny would give me more views than Mass Effect multiplayer, why are you watching a Mass Effect multiplayer stream and not Destiny 2?
Well, one thing I can say is that Destiny 2 doesn't have Asari butts. And we all know how much Tim likes those.
True, I cannot lie.
That's all of them. Good work.
Wow, I can't believe that worked.
Stay put.
That shot went through about 4 walls.
Enemies inbound. Copy that.
Yeah, I just stood there looking.
Well, I wish I was recording, because even with the thermal scope, I couldn't even see whatever that was. I just could see like the little red diamond because it was the last enemy, and I just fired at it. Somehow it went through like 4 walls.
Ah,
Who needs help?
I don't have the R for pitch crew.
Squad member has flatlined.
VR is good, but if you get dizzy easily, you might not like it.
Team member has gone dark.
I'm getting pretty well handy with the solar wheel.
Squad member has flatlined.
See, hot dog, I'm no good at like. One of the reasons why I really enjoy.
Squad member has flatlined.
Oh,
That was ridiculous. I could not get away from her. I stood up 3 different times and just.
exactly how I got killed.
No, like I literally couldn't even move. She was just standing on top of me.
Okay, it's the first one. You're right. Pull it back.
No, I wanted revenge with my female sniper because she went 0-3 last week, and so I thought we were doing so good, and then she just died. Anyway, how's your room temperature gin this week, Tim?
Ah, it's good. Yeah, nearly drank. Oh, it's got another hour yet.
See, I don't know. Actually, you're English. I should ask you. I don't mind gin, but I quite like Tanqueray. But every English person I've ever talked to keeps telling me that's like white trash gin. Is that true? Because I always thought it was decent.
It's like your bog stand.
See, because I always thought that would have been like Beefeater or something.
Off it.
So yeah, what did you you had a suggestion for the station topic? Oh, best massive. Yeah, so I'm gathering some comments. Unity tab. So if you haven't already, popped over to the tab. It might appear in the video. But yeah, if you also want to chat too, let's get a poll going.
away from me.
Squad member
That way.
offline.
Well, in your defense, you were setting up a pole. I'll say the same thing I did on the community tab, that 1 has the best story, 3 has the best gunplay and multiplayer, Andromeda has the best combat, and 2 is the best overall game.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I can also there was another person that really doesn't like 2 due to the vectors. I kind of see the point. But 2 suffers from that kind of middle trilogy kind of. You can't end the story, but you need something that's big enough threat.
Well, normally don't they say that the middle one in a trilogy has to be like the most depressing, or depressing might not be the right word, but the most where like bad things happen? Like, I think you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. A bit like the Empire Strikes Back, where kind of you have your first one that kind of come out on a high, then the second one everything's put back, and then the third one to resolve it, save the day again.
Well, yeah, the Empire definitely did strike back in that movie. See, though, like, I don't know if you saw, but I responded to that guy about the collector thing. And like you said, I agree with what he was saying, and I understand it. But the other thing, too, because like someone else had mentioned that they still thought it was dumb that you had to work with Cerberus. And then my counter to that would be, if you were still with the Alliance, like say if the Normandy hadn't got destroyed, there is no way the Alliance or the Council, Spectre or not, would have signed off on anything you were doing in the second game, if you had still been with them.
Yeah, because after Horizon, you don't actually see the lights again.
No, but I mean, like, even if the collectors hypothetically never existed in the first place, like that guy was saying, and Shepard never died, and you stayed with the Alliance, even Spectre or not, you would not have been able to do anything you did in the second game if you had the Alliance and Council looking over your shoulder the whole time. They would not have allowed that. You basically would have been Mass Effect 2 Saren. I mean, like, it's like, you understand what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Spectres are allowed to do what they want, but if you're out there, if you had gotten the tip, like the Kenson thing would have still happened. And if you had been a Spectre and you went out there and blew up that relay, I mean, the Council would have gone. I mean, look, they already did go ballistic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would not have ended it. The only yeah.
Nearing the upload site. Keep that path open.
6 months in an Alliance base.
Yeah, the Alliance gave you the old Kai Lang treatment. That's another thing that always bugged me too, is even if you hate Cerberus, Shepard had to have known they would have been arrested the second they got back to the Alliance.
Yeah.
So even if you didn't want to work with the Elusive Man anymore, Shepard still should have gone rogue. Because I'm not saying 6 months isn't a long time, but think of what you could have done getting ready for the Reapers in those 6 months rather than sitting in a prison cell. Like, you could have gone and worked for Liara or something. Going back to the Alliance was the dumbest thing Shepard could have done.
Yeah, it was. I mean, when Hackett turns around and says, you know, when the time's right, I know that you'll be in your blues. I mean,
Yeah, and if that was me, I would have literally laughed in his face.
That's all of them. Good work.
technically, you didn't actually work for him. Wasn't technically part of the alliance, was you? Respecter.
No, you weren't. You weren't. Well, I always tell the alliance to cram it when they offer to make me a Spectre again.
I do.
But even still, oh yeah, I keep the council alive in the first game just so I can yell at them in the second one.
First time playthrough, I didn't save the console.
Oh, Curtis.
I generally don't either, but I will admit, yelling at the council and telling them the illusion man is right, and they're all too scared and stupid to see what's really going on, is pretty cathartic.
Now the second time I did save him. Well, the second time I can hang up on the phone. Didn't like that when I hang up.
Ow. That wasn't clever.
But here's a question: when you kill the council, though, do you pick the no stay back, Joker? We need to focus on sovereign response, or do you say the screw the council, let them die response?
I do like the
because I mean the focus on sovereign one's a little more politically correct, but the other one feels pretty good to say to you, though.
Hey, takes the note. We have a free space if you're free. If you want to play.
Some good work down there. Stay alert. Enemy is regrouping.
Yeah, if you come join, I can tell you why Wynn's a bad character all over again.
You killed it yet?
Yeah, I did. I recorded a video of it. I put it on YouTube of why I kill her, because like Morgan raises the most valid point in the history of valid points.
Actually, what?
Actually, yeah, that would have been. I wish I could have remembered that 2 weeks ago, because that would have been a fantastic question to ask Mark Dara. Be like, why are all the air quotes good guys in Origins genuinely unlikable?
You should have asked that question. I would have asked it.
That's what I just said. If I had a time machine and could go back in time 2 weeks. I mean, like, the Circle Tower are the most unlikable, evil people ever. Like, they're worse than the Darkspawn. The elves are idiots, and the dwarves are kind of hit or miss between Harrowmont and Valen. Oh, that sucked. I did not know Banshees, all the thousands of hours I've played, I did not know Banshees could teleport through walls.
Squad member in trouble.
I did it just for you. And she's out.
Outstanding work. Enemy down to 50% strength.
Tempting off a hot dog with maybe. Hello.
Squad member has flatlined. Nice job. Get back in the extraction zone.
Oh, stuck.
Squad member down. We need the object at
free to play. Sci-fi, it's shooter, it's unique enemies, likable character.
And you can dance.
He dance.
Squad member offline.
You know, I know and understand and I get that acid is bad for you and painful and does damage and all that, but I would love to know the physics of how stepping in a puddle is what kills you.
Enemy is regrouping.
Like, even if it was like a xenomorph, like if you killed a xenomorph, if you walked through it, like, yeah, I get it would melt your shoes, but would that actually kill you?
Depends if you had shields on.
No, but I mean, like, even if you had no shields, like, if it was just you, if you walked past a dead xenomorph and you stepped in its blood, it would burn your foot, it would melt your shoe, but I don't think it would kill you.
Squad member in trouble.
Sorry, Curtis, I was going to come away, but Banshee kind of.
Oh, she decided to attack me this time.
Does rain affect the enemies as well?
No, because it only damages shields.
Does it affect enemies with shields?
I don't think so, but don't quote me on that.
Ow!
Squad member has flatlined.
Going on there.
Well done, team. Enemy is regrouping. Bogies incoming.
do all. Actually encourage them.
Well, have you read the descriptions on what some of the guns actually are?
No.
Like, the Geth Javelin, it sounds like the most ridiculous weapon in the history of ever.
It's a Dragon Age. Some of your characters don't have a whole.
Killed by the rain, I think. Oh no, bro.
Yeah, the rain can't kill you. Sorry, what were you saying, Curtis? How come your character doesn't what?
They have a voice.
Yeah, they're not voiced. Yeah, that was just a... I forget... There was a reason why they said that, but I forget what it was. Tim might know.
Oh, in there.
Why you don't have a voice in Origins.
Origin. It's because it was coming off the back of like Baldur's Gate. That kind of era of gaming. Fallout kind of style where you have loads of options. Kind of supposed to imprint your own personality. Oh yeah.
Wonder about. Oh man.
Yeah, like Takes No says, Dragon Age got a lot more dialogue options. Then obviously you've got loads of different dialogue trees that you put down.
I wish this game had a crouch so I could teabag that Banshee.
Yeah, it's kind of, I think it's based on like the old Dragon tabletop kind
I mean,
of games.
it makes sense, because I know they said part of the reason they made Mass Effect is they loved Star Wars, but they hated being like constrained by the canon and the lore, and they wanted to just be able to do their own thing.
That's why Mass Effect 1 is that's all the same.
Well, at least it had a better twist, I guess. Like, no one loves the first KOTOR more than me, but I don't know how anyone can play that game all the way through, find out the Revan twist, and then still think the Jedi are good people afterwards. Like, if that was me, I would want to kill every single one of them.
The enemy has established a communication array.
It saved you.
Disarm it.
They also wiped my memory and turned me into a tool.
Device down.
Exactly what the Empire did. Disrupted you.
Not everyone in the Empire is corrupt.
The devices are offline. Keep on it.
I will have you know I'm a very benevolent Sith Lord.
Team member has gone dark. Target offline. Squad member in trouble.
Who's the big guy?
Squad member offline.
Hey, Dark Voice.
Squad member offline.
I literally got killed while I was healing.
This guy's good. Wave 10 is on.
Team member offline.
I think all the big enemies are dead, so all he's gonna do is kill a couple Marauders. We should be fine.
Got that one shotgun.
Yeah, but anyway, you should read the descriptions of some of the weapons, because some of them are actually hilarious. Like the Geth Javelin, you know, it doesn't fire bullets. You know, it shoots.
Right there, Dark Voice. It isn't. There's tonight's poll. The Mass Effect 3 is actually
Enemy is regrouping.
beauty tab it.
Get to the extraction area.
I love Mass Effect 3. There's just a couple things in the story that always bothered me.
Yeah, you mentioned something about the startup. Beef with the startup.
Well, my first beef with the startup is that it forces you to go back to the Alliance and doesn't let you stay with Cerberus, which like clinically depressed me when I first got it.
I couldn't imagine why.
But no, I booked a week off for work when that came out because I'm gonna play through this game like 6 times, and then I was like, what the hell? Because like in my Mass Effect 2 playthrough, like I cut every tie I had with the Alliance. I told Anderson and the Council where to go, like everything, and then they're like, whoops, I'm back. Like, do you know there's I don't know if it necessarily qualifies as a secret, but if you do Mass Effect 2 and support Cerberus and the Illusive Man the entire game while telling the Alliance and Council how much idiots they are, the actual last line of dialogue in the game is the Illusive Man saying, Shepard, we need each other, and Shepard responding by saying, yes, we do. So it was just like, so I was like, how did my Shepard, so what happened in the 6 months between when that and the start of Mass Effect 3 that made my Shepard be like, oh, I guess I'm going to go back to the Alliance and go to jail.
Yeah, I've got time. Takes them.
But the other thing I was mentioning in that thread, though, was like setting my hatred of the Krogan aside. I always hated how Rex holds the galaxy hostage at the start of the game.
But yeah, because he's not going to. Yeah, I suppose that under that kind of scale, well, Primarch does the same thing. Like, yeah, I'm not going to help you because Krogan's help my planet. Like,
No, but that makes sense, because I mean, like, I forget the numbers off the top of my head, but Liara says, like, I think it's like 8 million Turians died the first day and like 14 million died the second day. So, I mean, my big thing is like, yes, Rex, we understand that the genophage is bad, and I get why you're angry, but you also have to look like the Solarians and Turians didn't make the genophage out of spite. It's not because they don't like you. They made it out of necessity. Your people aren't exactly Boy Scouts. And now, right now, you're holding everyone hostage and forcing us to go fart around for God knows how long. Like Rex even says, the genophage lasted 1,746 years. It can last another 2 weeks while you go help out on Palaven while we get this sorted out. I mean, like, he comes across as like an ass to me. I don't know.
being Dark Voice is probably going to. Join us.
Yeah, it's like I just wanted to be like, Rex, like, again, like, I understand you're upset and everything, and I would be too, but like, let's try to put things in context here a little bit. I mean, like, your people aren't like I said, weren't exactly the nicest people, and we've all agreed that we're going to cure it. So why don't you put forth a little bit of good effort, goodwill on your part, and go help out on Palaven, because you're certainly not changing anyone's mind by refusing to do anything and just sitting on your hands.
Exno brings up a valid point though. Because the thing is, if the genophage is already limited,
Put forth a little bit of good effort on goodwill.
they're going to Florians.
Well, like I say, if you have it, like Rex, I know Rex doesn't trust the Primarch, and he certainly doesn't trust the Dalatras, but he should trust Shepard. So I mean, like, and Shepard can get things done. So I mean, he should be able to just take Shepard at their word when he says, yes, we'll get this cured, but in the meantime, you should probably help out Palaven. Like I said, the genophage has lasted 1,746 years. It can last another 2 weeks.
Not with a Reaper invasion, though, surely.
Which is exactly why they need to help Palaven, because if you lose Palaven, you lose the biggest military in the galaxy.
No, it's just hard to think. I think it's hard to think clearly when you've got a Reaper invasion and the genophage to worry about as a single race, though.
Well, the Krogan don't even have ships, so they should be, in all seriousness, they should be doing whatever the people who can fly tell them to.
Yeah, I stand by that he probably just wasn't thinking clearly, though.
I mean, I don't know. Rex seems pretty calm and rational even when he gets angry. But I mean, then again, he bugged your ship, so who knows?
Well, Cerberus did that as well.
Well, it was Cerberus' ship. That makes sense. You inviting Rex onto the Normandy in the third game, and then him bugging you is kind of creepy. Although, I mean, Liara bugs your cabin too, though, so that's also creepy.
I'm just saying that when you look at all the questionable things Cerberus has done,
Oh, I mean, Cerberus has certainly done a ton of questionable things, but I'm also saying most of them, at least, they had like a goal in sight, like a greater good.
well, yeah, and Rex was just thinking about the greater good of his people.
Yeah, but his people can't even get off world, so I mean, like, you need the Turians' help one way or the other. So getting in, if I was Rex, I mean, like, you'd want to get in good with them. Because, I mean, the Dalatras was an idiot for flat out refusing to do anything. But the Primarch seemed pretty amicable. So Rex would be like, okay, I'll send some troops as long as you promise we're going to look into this. And then you do get it sorted out pretty quickly. But it just, he comes across like such a jackass by literally holding the galaxy hostage while you go run errands for him.
That voice makes a good point. Liara is creepy throughout the trilogy. Ew. She is wrong.
Hostile forces are advancing. Secure the area.
I mean, I suppose that is fair.
I do like Hot Dog's way that they should have worked it, and I think you probably agree with me also. If you kept the collector base that you worked with Cerberus and Mass Effect 3, and yet if you destroyed it, you would have gone back to the Alliance. That would have been a perfect way for utilise that choice.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that would have literally anything would have been better to utilize that choice than what they did in the game.
You have to wonder if maybe they had a bit more time on the development, if they would have done something bigger.
Pretty sure they would have had to have made 2 versions of the game, like one where you stay with Cerberus and one where you go back to the Alliance. I don't think with PS3 technology they could have fit all of that onto one disc. I mean, they could probably do it now with the PS5 though, but back in 2012 I don't think it probably could have been done.
I mean, when did The Witcher 2 came out? That was separate storyline. Game. God, my aim's terrible.
You gotta lay off the room temperature gin there.
You seem to have a thing for room temperature gin, Cerberus guy.
Squad member down.
Oh, it's just, I don't even remember where it came from. It was, I had a friend, what was it? Was it a YouTube video? I don't know, it was something, people were making jokes that British people only drink their gin at room temperature, like with no ice. Like if you have a gin and Sprite or a gin and soda or whatever, it's always at room temperature with no ice. Like, I don't even know if that's true. But then, like I said, I forget where I heard it. It's been years now.
Kind of sad, isn't it? Because it feels like we're outnumbered by Americans, and like so much that stereotypes just keep coming at us.
Well, I mean, I apologize if that's an unfair stereotype.
No, honestly, I wouldn't know because I don't drink gin. But
Well, how about when you do have a gin and like tonic or Sprite or something, Tim? Do you use ice or no?
I do, yeah.
Okay, maybe it's not true then. But...
I mean, considering the weather we get, is room temperature like really the same as your room temperature?
Yeah, well, it's not like all of England is like one climate, though. I mean, you get like Southampton and Aberdeen are 2 completely different things, like biomes.
Yeah. The general consensus is though we just get bad weather though.
Do you? I've been to Brighton, so I don't know about that. Although maybe I was just there on a nice day.
Yeah, you could have been.
I mean, Brighton looked like a resort town. Like, it was like mind blowing, to be honest.
Captured in planet-side network. Upload the intel from
I think also just Dark Boys. I think they kind of wrote themselves. They said that it couldn't be lost with conventional weapons.
Well, I mean, it takes the entire Alliance fleet to take out one Reaper in the first game. And even then, that still almost wasn't enough.
much time to complete the mission.
I just found it funny, though, getting back to the collector base. Out of all 12 squad mates, Grunt is literally the only one who thinks saving the base is a good idea.
Well, to be fair, I don't think the rest of the crew really trust Cerberus enough to agree with it. I don't know, I mean, don't you kind of see, like... Don't you at least see, like, where they're coming from because of everything that base has done to human colonies?
No, that's fair, but that's exactly why you needed to study it, though. It's like Grunt says only an idiot gets offered a weapon and turns it down.
But what if that weapon turns against you? Like, if you look at the Derelict Reaper ship. And how
I'd say
indoctrinated people.
I'd say given the circumstances, that's an acceptable risk.
See, then it's kind of a similar situation to what you were saying about Rex, though, isn't it? You're sacrificing lives.
Yeah, well, those are two completely... That's apples and oranges, though.
Squad member needs help.
Rex was just being bitter and petty. The collector base could legitimately have technology to save not just humanity, but like all of the galaxy.
Sorry, I was looking at chat, so I didn't actually catch the end of that.
Oh no, I was just saying that those things, to me at least anyway, are kind of apples and oranges. Because I mean, like at the start of the third game, Rex is just being bitter and petty. He's like a kid who didn't get to go for ice cream after a soccer game. Whereas saving the base, like, potentially could save the entire galaxy. It's, I mean, that's why, like, is I don't know what the right word is, but as uncouth as what goes on at Sanctuary is, I mean, can you really argue, though? Because it worked.
I have to wonder, actually, because with what happened with the Star Child, do you think it's Elusive Man's research that gave you that option later in the game?
I mean, it might have been because Shepard actually brings it up. And like the Star Child even says the only reason the Elusive Man couldn't control him is because he already controlled the Elusive Man.
I mean, I tried to get you guys.
And that's
Stupid flamethrower. Yes. Damn it.
I'm used to this, guys.
He's waiting for the collective building. Happening. People seem really stupid and free. That was got a point though. Why they were quite stupid too. Why building Reaper and the galaxy? Not own the galaxy. Then build.
Well, I mean, the only reason anyone even found it was because you got super lucky and found a chip on the dead Reaper. I mean, like, it's not like the collector base was like around the block. I mean, that was, they just didn't think anyone could actually get there.
Again, it was thanks to Cerberus that found him, really. Because the Alliance were, they had the suspicion.
The Alliance didn't believe the Reapers, the Alliance and the Council didn't even believe the Reapers existed until like a week before they came.
One more and it's a wrap. Squad member
I think we can all agree though that like
team.
any story has got like plot holes or character holes or faults if you look deep enough,
Here they come.
No, I mean that's true, but I think it's all about, like, you can never be like even as perfect as the Reapers are. I mean, even they're still, to like air quotes, human. There's still things, they make mistakes, and you can never plan for anything, for everything.
Yeah. Although at the same time you can make the argument that they must have learned quite a lot from all the previous cycles.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still like you gotta judge like whether or not how much is something worth it to you. Like, I mean, if you never drive anywhere, you're never gonna get in a car accident. But I mean, at some point, you've got to drive places, right?
Squad member needs help.
Like, I'm guessing Harbinger had a checklist and was like, all right, this is all the things we're worried about. These are the things we planned for. I mean, like, I think he was safe in assuming no one was ever going to get through the Omega-4 relay. I mean, and even the Normandy was one ship and it did, and even it almost did. Even after it got through, it still needed the best pilot in the galaxy and 5 billion upgrades to not blow up. And even then, it still took a ton of damage, air quote, landing.
Yeah, not quite a billion upgrades, just like multi-core shielding and Annex cannon and heavy armor.
No, but again, like, I think Harbinger was safe in assuming that what else could he have done? Aside from having 50,000 million more Oculuses guarding it.
True.
I don't know with the Dark Voices that the Derelict Reaper. Been there a long time. You would have thought that the Reapers would be an outback. I don't think they would,
Enemy is down to 1.
because they would want people to find it and use it. That kind of alerts this presence.
Also, given you're ending of Mass Effect 3, actually, it kind of gives the impression that I think all of this is part of their experiment, to kind of, I don't know, like they're looking for a race to get as far as Shepard did,
The only
Yeah.
thing that survived the crash. Get it online.
It was like there's
They're not gonna make-
question, like why there's no Reapers in Andromeda. Then heard that first of all, only been programmed. But surely if they're bent on wiping out that life galaxy, they would.
Let's run this down. Get close again.
You,
Well, if the Reapers are still around in 10 or 11 billion years when the Milky Way collides with Andromeda. Then we can ask them then.
I think you can also maybe argue though that there's only one race in Andromeda, and I'm pretty sure they were created by synthetics. Well, actually, balls up being answered. I'm so sorry, yeah. I should have thought before I opened my mouth there.
I think if we ever got an Andromeda, if we ever had an Andromeda 2, there would have been a lot more races, because like, I've said it before and I'll say it again, where Andromeda leaves off is a perfect jumping off point for a sequel.
Apparently there's supposed to
Yeah, see, he's
be more races.
do you say dumb plot point hot dog? But I actually really like the idea that all previous cycles were working on a device. Like the idea that all previous cycles are developing an idea for this Crucible device. And yeah, you can make an argument that how did the Reapers not discover it or whatever, or how did they not make sure it was destroyed, or how did they know for certain that every cycle would find the plans? But
Well, the Star Child kind of addresses that. He says that the Reapers did know about it and they thought they destroyed all the plants, but I guess some survived.
yeah, it said something about how organics are more resourceful than they realized. Which is a bit of a answer, but you know. I mean, yeah, clearly it wasn't planned out from beginning to end, Nathaniel, but I mean, honestly, if you even look at like the original Star Wars trilogy, I'm sure they didn't plan to build a second Death Star when they came up with a plan based on.
I'm pretty sure Luke and Leia wouldn't have kissed in Episode 4 if they knew how Episode 6 was going to end either.
Exactly. Not everyone has it mapped out from beginning to end.
One thing the original Episode 4 did get right though was, I don't care what Disney says, hand shot first.
I think that was more, that was George Lucas's fault to begin with, though, wasn't it? Because he was the one who changed it first.
Well, whoever's fault it was done, because that was like the perfect way to show how much of a badass and how ruthless he was without making him like unlikable or evil or anything.
I think that was first changed in like the, I could be wrong, but I'm just guessing the 2006 version of the re-release. I don't know.
I just think it's funny because Star Wars has to be the only IP in the history of ever where smugglers are considered good guys and bounty hunters are considered bad guys.
It's quite bad. I do like that voice, the sea. Conduit, knife with a crucible out of it.
Sweet. Well done.
We're clear.
Stay alert. Enemy is regrouping.
Hot Dog, what you were saying about them not finding the Crucible, having it destroyed, they didn't build the Crucible in previous cycles, I don't think. I think it was just plans that were still being developed over the course of the cycles.
Yeah, each cycle kind of added.
Contact.
Yeah, and they hadn't actually built it, I assume, until the cycle that we are in Mass Effect.
I don't know which cycle installed the bathrooms.
don't think they've got bathrooms on the Crucible.
I should hope so, and look how big it is.
Yeah, but it's just like an energy thing, isn't it? It's one big energy penis.
Squad member needs help.
I mean, I can't be the only one who thinks that it kind of looks like one.
Well, thinking of it as an energy penis makes the end when the giant beam shoots out a lot more interesting.
I mean, if you're ever given the birds and the bees talk to your kids, just go with the Crucible and Citadel metaphor.
See, I was planning on just letting them listen to the dialogue Shepard has with Liara's father at the beginning, the first time you go to the Citadel in Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Squad member in trouble.
I'm right here.
Yeah, I'm screwed. Go back to the I had 2 of those flamethrower Geth on me, so...
Little bomb thing.
Cerberus guy's got that yellow Zasari again.
Team member has gone dark.
I was hoping the Annihilation Field would kill them, but of course the bombs went off first.
Nathaniel thinks.
Are any of you watching?
Sorry, Nathaniel thinks that Mass Effect 4 is going to expand on the Remnant.
I kind of hope not, because I'd like something different to just synthetics. You know, so it's not too similar to the Reapers.
I did find the Remnant to be genuinely interesting, though.
I think I would
Yeah.
prefer something a bit more grounded, more like a Civil War.
I really like the idea of Liara becoming a villain, like in like an attempt to bring Shepard back or something.
The temerity.
I just think it's an easy setup for a character like I feel terrible for forgetting his name, but that guy in Dragon Age, who you think is on your side in Inquisition, but Solus, like just like the fact that you kind of feel a bit sympathetic towards him, or at least some people do, because of, you know, what the elves have been through. Like it's I just mean like I like villains that are sympathetic and you can understand them. Like I didn't really understand Saren, to be honest. Like I did in a way that like he's obviously indoctrinated, but really doesn't like Mass Effect very much. I think it's obvious that the Geth are going to have some significance, though.
Yeah.
Which I guess already kind of makes me think that they've surely they're going to canonize that the Geth survived the war in Ranark.
Kind of makes sure that the destroy ending is the most logical ending.
But at the same time, how could the Geth come back if Destroy was the ending they chose? I think it'd be like ballsy if they chose like Control or something.
Well, the Control ending leaves them a lot of flexibility because it's the only ending that doesn't destroy a race. And it leaves everything pretty much as is.
With some improvements, because I think they made it clear that the Reaper technological advances, like the Reapers gave them some kind of technological advantage. I guess it's the same in the synthesis ending.
See, Tim wouldn't like the synthesis ending though, because then if you made that canon, he'd have to consider his vacuum an equal.
That voicing.
On paper, I love.
I was going to say, what's your preference?
On paper, I love the synthesis ending because I myself would be all for that. I mean, like, I've already got cybernetics in me in real life, so what's a bit more. But I always pick the Control ending, specifically because it leaves everything as is, and as cool as synthesis is, I mean, that's a pretty big change you'd be forcing on literally trillions of people who might not want it.
And Viara in the trailer doesn't appear to have those parts.
I think another way to visualize it that I always thought was kind of interesting was I saw a meme, and it was like Lord of the Rings, and it was like, imagine, so you can destroy all evil, you can merge good and evil, or you can destroy all evil, but all the dwarves die.
No.
I wish they'd make revive not the same button as getting cover.
I just wish spacebar wasn't every button.
But remap them.
Wait, your keyboard has more than one button?
Yeah, the Mass Effect keyboard is just one spacebar.
You guys want to do a bronze match to finish up with?
Yeah, sure.
It would help my confidence. You know, given how many plot holes I'm in Hot Dog seems to be looking for in the Mass Effect universe, I start to wonder if he actually likes it.
See, but I've always. Sorry.
I was just going to say, or maybe it's just the third one he really doesn't like. Go on.
I was just going to say, I know BioWare would never do it because it would be after like how epic the first 4 games were. It would be kind of bland by comparison. But I've always thought what would be really cool and a good way how they could flesh out the lore a bit more too is like I'd love a game where, say, you play as an 18-year-old Turian on the Citadel, and like the first bit of the game is you like going around like, you know, living your life and etc. And then at one point, you eventually have to make a choice. Like you bring back Paragon and Renegade, and you have to make a choice between whether to join CSEC, which would be like the Paragon route, or join the Blue Suns, which would be the Renegade route. And then from there, you do a whole bunch of stuff for whichever faction you join on the Citadel. And you could like actually explore the Citadel. Because I mean, counting the Presidium, the Citadel has 6 wards that are each an individual city, and throughout the 3 games, you see like 2% of it.
See, building on what you just said, and I know I've already given this idea before, but I would really like a Mass Effect MMO, and like you would have different classes like that, where you could be a space pirate or a CSEC officer, or I don't know, like I guess basically a Shepard looking in 7 would be one of them as well. And then like maybe a Cerberus. I don't know what exactly, like a Cerberus assassin or something, I don't know. I think they could have fun with that.
Well, I just think like it would be fun to like have because as cool as like the big Save the Galaxy thing is, it would also be fun to have like a more, I don't know if relaxed is the right word, but a little more laid back, where you're just like a regular person, not the hero of the galaxy.
Do that again?
Well, I was just saying, like, it's cool that you get to go out and, like, save everyone. But in my mind, anyway, it would be kind of cool to have a game where instead of, like, the hero of the galaxy, you were just a regular person.
Yeah. I think it would be cool if there were also just, like, loose... Like, I know they kind of had loose ties to Shepard and Andromeda, but I just feel like no one talked about Shepard. And just having those little kind of hints at Shepard and maybe hints at choices you made would have been nice, just to kind of build on that legend.
I mean, unless I'm forgetting something, everyone on the initial, like everyone on the Hyperion, never mind, everyone on all 5 arcs thought Shepard was dead when they took off.
When did they actually take off then?
I forget the exact date, but it's sometime in early 2185. Mass Effect 2 takes place at the end of 2185, and the arcs leave sometime in the like the first couple months of 2185.
Just tried to hack a collector and I felt stupid.
I just tried to shoot Curtis.
That's fine. I play an RTS with a guy who continually tries to poison buildings.
He's one of those crazy people that believes buildings are people.
Well, if you're playing StarCraft, there's a 1 out of 3 chance you're playing someone whose buildings are living.
I'm curious about that new sci-fi game coming out this year, Starfield.
Yeah, I won't mind.
Yeah, mine's not. I'm gonna play on the Xbox.
Or just wait until you can get a new GPU for less than like a kidney and half your liver.
Daniel says it always made me laugh how hilariously incompetent P-Sec. The Garrus was extremely delusional. They really were that stupid.
Well, considering one of the missions is just sorting out what to do, trying to convince a Hanar to either buy a religious permit or to leave. Like, how could the officer not have solved that?
To be fair, there are a lot of scenarios in games though where a side mission could be done by the person giving the side mission.
My favorite in the first game is that couple right beside the weapons store on the Citadel, where they're arguing over whether the pregnant lady should get, like, the gene therapy. And just this Shepard, being this random stranger, just comes up and is like, you should do this. And then they end up doing it.
I mean, I guess it would make a bit more sense if one of them was a big fan of Shepard and it was after Shepard saved the Citadel.
No, I love how the girl's just like, who the hell are you anyway?
Yeah. Because in their eyes, it's just a random stranger. They're like, oh yeah, we should trust them.
I was a little sad that that couple makes they make a cameo in Mass Effect 2, but you can't talk to them.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you can.
I'm kind
You have to make another decision. Was that Mass Effect 3?
I didn't think you could talk to. No, because they're in the I think it's Serta. They're in one of the stores on the Citadel debating what they should get, which modification they should get for the kid, because he's obviously been born now.
Well, they're in 3 as well.
If they are in 3, I'm not remembering them.
Clear. Enemy is regrouping.
I just remember you can listen to them talk to each other in the second game, and I'm pretty sure it's Serta, but it's one of the stores anyway.
They're in 3. They don't appear until after the attack on the Citadel. And I'm pretty sure they are here where Haley told you to go in. Speaks to that woman in prison. Get that woman out too.
Oh, Jonah, yeah.
Yeah, they're around that area. Not there from the start, they come like halfway.
I'm gonna go check that now. If they are, like, I'm not doubting you, but I've literally never seen them.
Do you let her out, by the way, Stavrisco?
Clear. Good work.
Do I let Jonah out of prison?
Enemy down to
Yeah.
50% strength.
No, I side with her Solarian friend in the refugee camp.
You're looking for a military.
I'm glad we can agree on a decision then.
Retrieve it and bring it in.
Well, I mean, yeah, like, I'm off.
You got it. Now get back to the
I'm certainly not a lawful good character. I'm a little rough around the edges, but yeah, she's several shades of crazy, even beyond me.
Yeah, I mean, she literally says heads will roll.
Ah!
Someone find that object.
Dark Voice says that they're replaced after Priority to Conquer by the guy that wants to find the Pro 3 letter stuff.
Down. Find the object. Good. Get back to the extraction zone.
Obviously, I already know what happens to Emily Long and how they kind of write her off on Twitter, basically. But it's a shame how she kind of gradually got sidelined in Mass Effect. I mean, she was already a side character, but you know what I mean. They could have so easily utilized her instead of.
But I'd rather
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They could have so easily used her instead of whoever Diana Allers is, you know, who is supposedly an IGN reporter.
We need that object. Bring it back.
Yeah, who supposedly did some extracurricular activities to get into the game.
I mean, IGN seems to be morally questionable in a lot of areas, don't they?
Yeah.
Object recovered. Good work.
I mean, that whole story's hilarious on the face of it anyway. But the fact she got pulled off before the game even was released kind of makes me think the rumors are at least partially true.
Good. Get back to the team member is
makes you a bit concerned about what kind of working environment BioWare was as well, if they kind of went through with that kind of thing.
Well, I think back then it wasn't as bad as it is now, but she pretty much lived in Edmonton for like the better part of 6 months, right before they pulled her, right before the game came out.
What do you mean bad as it is now? You mean it's worse?
Well, it's like I made the comment the other day that BioWare now, it's kind of like, I don't know if you play any Call of Duty, but BioWare now kind of seems to be like how Infinity Ward is, where it's like it's BioWare in name only. Like the name's the same, but there's hardly anyone there, still there, who was there from when, like the good old days.
I can imagine it can be hard to stay motivated though, especially after, like, you've seen that documentary, haven't you, where they talk about the kind of crunch that they had to deal with 3 and Inquisition. Like, I wouldn't blame people for leaving after that kind of struggle.
No, it's like I'm not faulting them at all. I mean, I 100% agree with them. I'm just saying, but like Casey Hudson's gone, Greg Zeschuk's gone, Mark, I can never remember his last name, Zwaniak or whatever, is gone. Drew Karpyshyn's gone. I mean, like, I think Mac Walters is literally the only person who's still there. Aaron Flynn's gone. Like, everyone's gone.
Yeah, you can't help but worry.
Dark Voice has got a
But quite honest,
working theory.
Is it that Reyes is the new Elusive Man?
Says, I wouldn't be surprised if you somehow played the new game and met the Elusive Man, had Liara as his secretary, and fell in love with you, and you would work for Cerberus again out of it.
can you imagine if they did that? They just pulled a Shepard in Mass Effect 2 and brought the Elusive Man back through technology.
See, my problem with that is it's too interesting, and no one likes doing interesting things anymore because interesting things have risk attached to them.
To me, that sounds a bit like a cheap idea. Like, it just seems like an excuse to create a new villain.
Well, I mean, I'll withhold judgment until I see what they come up with, but I mean, it's like how, if you go back in time a couple years, I was convinced Star Wars Episode 9 was going to be god-awful. And I was like, man, if they make Rey turn out to be evil, and then if they do like a flipperoo, and then in the Episode 9, Rey's the villain, and then Kylo like redeems himself and he's the good guy, that could like almost make up for how bad 8 was. But of course they never did it because that would involve like risk, and they did the safest thing ever, and then we ended up with a stupid movie and then an even stupider movie.
I don't have too many problems with 8, but I certainly hate 9.
I think what hurt me
Is it?
didn't have a cohesive story between.
Enemy is still active. Stay alert.
I think it was just rushed from the beginning. I think they were, from the get-go, they were forced to come up with something as soon as they bought Star Wars to get their money, you know.
I know it'll ever happen. Sorry.
I was going to say with George Lucas, I know his writing god awful. Because at least he had a story that was going to take 3 films, tell the story of how Anakin felt with the dark side.
He didn't have a complete plan, but he at least, I think he would have at least known when to reel people in, or say like, okay, you can't do this, or you can do that. I just feel like they almost gave some directors too much creativity in the new trilogy.
So the new trilogy, to me, it kind of found out where like they brought J.J. Abrams in, and he basically just made a shot-for-shot remake of A New Hope. Then they brought Rian Johnson in, and he destroyed, well, that might be the wrong word, but he retconned everything Abrams did in Episode 7. and then they brought Abrams back for episode 9, and then he retconned everything Rian Johnson did in episode 8, and then did something else entirely. It was like a mess from the start.
I mean, I don't mind Force Awakens as its own film. It's just like it's a bit of a tribute film, really, to me.
I wish they would have made Kylo a bit more, I don't know if threatening is the right word, but a bit more of a villain. Because, I mean, like, it's almost impossible to take him seriously. He throws temper tantrums. The very first scene he's in, Oscar Isaac's Poe basically, like, mocks him. I mean, it's not like the first time you see Darth Vader, he comes in, chokes a guy to death, kills a bunch of other people, and he's like, I mean, he's just barking out orders, and he's legitimately threatening and scary. Whereas Kylo just seems like an angsty teenager.
I honestly wish they kind of stuck with Kylo as the Supreme Leader for, well, I guess he was the Supreme Leader in the new film, but it just mean like, if they made him the villain in the final film and just kind of had the end of the war resting on if he would turn to the light side, I think that could have been interesting.
See, I don't know what was wrong with Hux.
What's been wrong with him?
Well, why couldn't he have been the villain?
Well, he was, wasn't he? He just wasn't the central villain, he was just kind of... He
No,
just
but I mean,
monster.
Well, he was pretty much like Kylo was the Force guy, and then I'm pretty sure Hux was like Grand Moff near the end, wasn't he?
I don't know. I just know he was an angry guy who gave that angry speech in Force Awakens.
But I mean, like, could you imagine like being Hux? Like, okay, so he's like, he's killed however many billions and billions and tens of billions of people, but because Kylo got mad at him and embarrassed him, he's going to flip sides. And I mean, even if he didn't die, I'm like, how do you think the Republic's just going to forget that he blew up like 18 planets in Episode 7? I mean, like, oh, you're a good guy now, so we're just going to conveniently forget all that. I mean, like, of all the people they could have had to go from the First Order to the Republic, he just seemed like the least likely.
Well, at least they kind of worded it so it was like he's not siding with the rebels or whatever you call them. He just hates Kylo and wants him to, I don't know, be punished by, I don't know, he just wants to get back at Kylo basically. Which they could have done a bit more with, I think.
That's why I'm telling you, Rey should have been the villain. Like, she should have been a Jedi hunter. Like, and the whole thing on Jakku could have just been her, you know, being like not incognito, but like in disguise. Because like her whole backstory doesn't really make sense when you put a little bit of thought into it.
Of course, her backstory doesn't make sense. It was changing every 5 minutes.
No, but I mean, like, so she's on Jakku for forever, apparently waiting for her parents, and then all of a sudden, Poe and Finn show up, and she's like, "Oh, I guess I don't have to wait here anymore. Let's leave the planet." And then, like, I mean, if you think, like, say if she was a Sith assassin, then her leaving and going with them would make sense because, like, oh, here's Poe's already in the Republic, and Finn is ex-Empire. Like, if anyone's going to find Luke Skywalker or Princess Leia or whoever, they probably have a decent shot.
And it kind of feels like a bit of a long-winded kind of plan, though, kind of a shot in the dark kind of plan.
And then you go to Episode 8, and when she does find Luke, literally the first thing she does is go to the dark side font on the planet. Then at the end, when she's, using air quotes here, captured by Kylo, for like the whole first half of that movie and all of Episode 7, she's wearing white. But then when they get to Snoke's throne room, all of a sudden she has black robes on. And if you notice when Snoke says, "Ah, my apprentice returns," that next shot, Rey's in focus, not Kylo.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm grasping at straws here, but I think that would have been having Rey be the bad guy in 9 and Kylo turn and redeem himself would have been a lot more interesting than what we got.
I just would have liked something like a Splinter in the First Order, like you would have had Hux wanting to make the First Order one thing and having his argument against him and being that kind of what edges him towards turning to the light. They're just kind of seeing the flaws in his own system.
Also, I can't be the only person who was like, watched episode 9 and was like, wait a second, didn't they say they only had like 18 hours to do all that stuff? There's no way they did all that stuff in 18 hours.
Yeah, honestly, like I make a list of my things that I want to do in the day, and like before I know it, the day's gone. I've only done like 3 out of 4, or 3 out of 6 more like actually.
Also, I hated the Wayfinders. Is it just me, or did the Wayfinders kind of feel like the compass from Pirates of the Caribbean? It's like, oh, we just need this magical MacGuffin thing that'll lead us to where we need to go.
I really love the compass. Really. Maybe that's just me, but I love the whole thing where it points to what you want most and everything.
Area's compromised. Get to the LZ. Shuttle dusting all. Well done, team.
I know it'll never happen, but I would kill someone to find out what was in Colin Trevorrow's script for episode 9.
Well, they already leaked that early script, didn't they? And someone even made it into a comic. Yeah,
Oh, I did not know that.
I can dig it up somewhere and I can share in Discord. Actually, he's got it all online on his website.
Yeah, do it.
Is it official? Because I can't imagine.
It's not
Like, you
official.
think- No, but I mean, like the way Disney is, like you'd think there'd be an army of lawyers at whoever made the comic. You'd think there'd be an army of lawyers at their door, or something.
Yeah, but it's like in more cases than not, it's like as long as you're not selling it for profit, then it's okay. Like with fan films.
Yeah, but remember, what was it, like 2 or 3 years ago? There was that fan-made Darth Vader movie where the guys approached Disney and they're like, we don't want to make a single cent, we just want to do this fan thing. And they were like, okay. And then it got 1 billion views on YouTube, and then Disney was like, oh, let's claim this so we can monetize it.
What's this for?
That the name is.
Yeah, I forget the guy's name too, but it was a Darth Vader fan film.
Yeah.
It was Star Wars
And-
Theory then.
Yeah, and then the guy was like, I don't want to make a single cent. I just want to be able, because I love it so much, my friends and I want to do this little, like, I think it was like 15, 20 minutes long short film. And Disney was like, well, yeah, as long as you don't make money off it, fine. But then they put it up and it was like a monstrous success. And then Disney claimed it.
Is that why he never made a second one? Because I thought it was just because he couldn't be bothered or something.
That might be, I don't know. I mean, that's like why I made the joke that whenever I get intimate, I'm always going to have Disney music playing in the background. Because then if a sex tape ever leaks, Disney's lawyers will take it down and I don't have to worry.
Well, that brings us to the end of the stream. We ended the poll on a Mass Effect 3 winning. Best. With Andromeda receiving no votes at all.
I never thought we'd end a stream talking about Disney watching Cerberus Guy's sex tape or something.
Yeah.
Laugh all you want, but that's a bulletproof strategy. The second that hits the internet, it's getting taken down.
Although, mute the down now.
Well, it's just not without the Pocahontas theme.
I want to say thank you very much to Cerberus Guy, Curtis, and Take Snow for the game. Appreciated. And for you guys in the chat as well. Nathaniel, Dark Voice, Hot Dog, and everybody else that was watching but not chat. very much for hanging out with us. We're back again next week for and some Andromeda on. Hope to see you then. Try my best to get this beast of a video out, which apologies for dropping that beat, but yeah, that should be out this week. Have a great weekend. Hope. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Bye. That was definitely one of the more interesting